Hey, welcome back to the Battle Creek Area Math and Science Center. Thanks for joining me, Mr. Burdett here. All my mighty rising phoenix out there learning along with me all about electromagnetic radiation and light. So last time we talked about rainbows and the phenomena of the natural world, but this time we're going to introduce to you the idea of exploring technology we use. So for example, right now I'm using a set of headphones that utilizes Bluetooth to communicate with my recording device, which is a cell phone. And then that cell phone is communicating with cell towers out there somewhere, but they're both using light. And so what we're going to be doing as a class is you and a small group are going to be researching your chosen topic of technology that uses light to do a thing, and then explaining to the rest of us what you learned about how it makes this magic happen. So let's get into this. So we use this kind of stuff every day. Like I said, Bluetooth, cell phones. We use Wi-Fi to communicate commonly between devices to the internet or to other devices around your whatever, building, home, whatever it is. But a lot of us just don't know how this happens. Like, what's the nitty-gritty? How do you get into light, this invisible thing that somehow goes from place to place and can communicate ones and zeros at the speed of light? How is that happening? What is going on? What kind of light are we using? Is it dangerous? Or is it okay? Can we have the cell phone in our pocket and still be all right? Should I be wearing these Bluetooth headphones around my head? Is it okay? How is it doing this? How is it taking my voice coming out of my vocal cords here, turning into light to then transmit to something else that somehow picks up the light without being able for me to see it, and then turns it into these data files? How does that happen? Most of us never think about it because we don't have to. But you're here at the center, and I need you to think about these kinds of things. So this project is meant to introduce to you the idea of explaining using principles that you know, being able to explain what is going on with the light, specifically with the light, in order to make this happen. So here's a list of all the technologies we're going to explore. We got microwave ovens. We got FM, AM, and the antennas of radio. We've got TV broadcasting, and by that I mean over-the-air broadcasting. I know for some of us it's going to be ancient times here, not cable, not streaming, I'm talking over-the-air broadcasting. Cell phones is something we're going to cover as a class. I'm going to introduce that today. Wi-Fi networks and Bluetooth. GPS, or global positioning systems. A multi-group is going to be tanning beds, black lights, and medical sterilization because they all do the same thing and use the same kind of light. Lasers, specifically, how is that different from an incandescent light bulb like the one you just flick on at home? And then finally, barcode scanners. Those are all different technologies that all do different things, but they all use light, some of which is visible, some of which is invisible, but they use light to accomplish a task. And so I'm not here to get you to recreate your own barcode scanner. No. But you should be able to articulate to others, myself included, about how do barcode scanners read the codes on products. How does it use the light? So let's get after what each and every student needs to be able to do at the end of this project. What are you turning in? So first of all, every individual student is going to write their own report about the technology. You have to have particular parts in your report, and I've gone ahead and put the link to the assignment in the description below. But each group is going to make some sort of presentation. In this era we're living in right now, I highly recommend some sort of Google Slides presentation because then you can remotely contribute individually instead of funneling it all through one person. You're going to have about a week right now, in order, depending on when you view this video, about a week in order to research your chosen topic and then present to the rest of us what is the magic behind your technology. That is going to be the same timeline for your report as well. You'll turn in your report the same day that you present, as your group present. So how is this going to look? Let's take, for example, cell phones, something a lot of you are using. Some of you have it in your pocket right now. Or maybe you're even watching this video on your cell phone. But how does it work? How does the magic work? Mystical spirits! So that's such a big question about how the cell phones work. Let's break it down to the smaller questions. For example, when were cell phones first invented? How did it go from a landline, where you needed to literally have a wire connected, to this thing we now have in our pocket that communicates wirelessly? What kind of frequencies are being used by these cell phones? Each technology is going to have specific frequencies, and you need to be able to articulate those. How do we then talk and listen at the same time? That is to say, how are cell phones different than walkie-talkies? Because walkie-talkies, I can talk or I can listen, but I can't do both. But cell phones, I can do them simultaneously. How does that happen? Where does my call go? Like, how does it get from cell phone to cell phone? Am I communicating directly phone to phone? Spoiler alert, you're not. So how does it get from place to place? How is it that cell phones can work side by side? How come my call doesn't interrupt another person's call? How do we keep them all straight?
Well, the company gives me a number, and the number's mine.
Cell phone numbers aren't really numbers in terms of being attached to you. There's a whole separate system hiding underneath it all. So we got to be able to get down to the nitty-gritty of this kind of stuff. And then, are the cell phones dangerous? Is the frequency being used by cell phones something I should be worried about and not putting beside my head? And then, where's the antenna? I thought like radios have antennas, TVs had antennas. So why don't cell phones have antennas? I mean, they used to, but now where are they? What do they look like? Why can I call people without an antenna? I don't get it. So what I need you to do is, before we get to the next live session, I need you to come up with your list. On that list of technologies ahead, make your top 3, because you're going to be put into random groups. And then as a group, you're going to have to figure out, what do you want to do? Because I'm only going to be able to assign microwave ovens to one group. And I'm going to just roll the dice and figure out whichever group is going to get the first pick, and then that's what's going to happen. So you might not get your top choice. So list out your pecking order, and then with your group, hash it out, like what's your top 3, and then we'll decide on which groups are going to do which presentations. We will have time in the live sessions, and you can always email me questions about how to do this project, or does this look right? Is this in the right format? Whatever the case may be. But I need you to come ready with your choices. Don't be trying to do it on the fly. Also, please make sure that you're always using your BCAMSC email for communication purposes. Otherwise, we're going to have some issues with like, hey, I couldn't log in, I couldn't get access, whatever. And most commonly, it's because you're trying to use your homeschool email address. So please be careful whenever you're doing schoolwork that you're on your BCAMSC email address. Now, my mighty rising Phoenix, I'm so glad you joined me today. I'm excited to do this project with you all. I need you all to just keep learning, keep earning, and as always, keep rising. Thanks for joining us.